Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully complete our employee monthly salary, right? So right now for the employee management everything I have covered. That means if you go there, so we successfully complete that employee registration, employee salary, employee leave application, that is our employee attendance, and also employee monthly salary. So right now from this video I want to start new session. This will be our mark management. Okay, so into this mark management, first of all let's start it with the mark entry. So first of all I want to add this option, then I will discuss about that mark edit and the grade option. Okay, so step by step, one by one I will cover. So now let's start it with the marks entry. Okay, so if you want to do that work, first of all some of the basic all that file we have to manage. Like we have to create one of the menu. So also into the menu area I want to create another prefix. Okay, so right now we don't need this, so that is our main database, and here also I remove it. So if you want to add this part, that is in our sidebar. Now let's go to our sidebar. Right now I remove everything. Okay, I remove everything from this position. So now that is our sidebar. Sidebar is in our view, admin, into the body, and that is our sidebar, right? So into the sidebar right now I want to create one of the new menu. I copy it. I copy total things from here, and after that I paste it. Okay. So now first of all our main menu name will be as an employee mark. Okay, I name it as a mark or marks. So that will be our employee marks. I name that as a marks management, right? So the better I want to do, I want to name it as a marks and then management. So that will be as a marks management. And I also want to put one of the prefix. Our prefix right now I want to use at a marks. Okay, I name it as a marks, so that will be our prefix. And here right now I want to take one only. Step by step we will add it. So I name it as a mark entry. Okay, so right now I remove it. I name it as a mark. Okay, marks entry. So that will be our menu name. So here that is our route. So first of all we have to actually load one of the view page, right? So for the view page that will be as a mark. Okay, marks and then entry, marks entry, and this marks entry that will be one of the add page. Okay, so here that will be just like our, if you go to our student management, into the student management there is a role generate, right? So into the role generate, that will, here I loaded that year, I loaded that class, and then I search it, then automatically it should be loaded. So right now I want to do the same functionality, but from here I want to update the mark. Okay, that means the student mark. So that is the interconnected with the student, and that will be just like our student role generator. So step by step I'll show you. Like first of all I want to add that name as a marks entry add. Okay, so this type of one of the route I want to create. So if you want to create this route, now go to our web route. So into the web route, that is our end, right? That is our end of the employee monthly salary. So better I want to copy one of the prefix in our, better that is actually our user, or rather than profile. I want to copy that total profile prefix. I copy it, and now they have the so many route right now. As I told you, it's very much big one of the project, so I paste it. So first of all I remove everything. Only I want to take one, and that will be our prefix. Our prefix name I want to name it as a marks. Okay, so that will be as a marks. Perfect. And then our route, so better I want to copy this route. Okay, like there is actually URL, so I want to use this type of one of the URL. Better I paste it. So first of all that is our route I have created. Our route name will be as a route as a marks entry add. I copy it, and that will be as a marks entry add. And then that is our mark, I make it as a mark, and then the entry, and I make it as a add. So that will be our route, that means the URL. And also I want to create one of the controller. So I want to create one of the controller as a marks. Okay, marks controller, this type of one of the controller I want to create. And also I want to create one of the method. Our method will be as a marks add. Okay, so this type of one of the method I want to create, that will be as a marks add. Okay, so perfect. So first of all, I want to create our this controller, and also we have to create one of the model. We have to create one of the migrations table, right? So now every basic process I want to complete. So that will be our controller name. So if you want to create this controller, we have to go to our project directory, and here before I have created as a backend, into the backend I have created as an employee folder, right? So now I want to create another folder, and I just name it as a marks. Okay, I name it as a marks folder, and to the marks folder I want to create this controller as a marks controller. That means right now if you click as a enter, automatically it will be created one of the folder. That means in our backend, into the backend area, it will be created one of the marks folder, and then into the marks folder I have named that our controller name as a marks controller. So now if you click as a enter, now you can see, friend, our controller created successfully. So into the backend there is a marks, one of the folder. Into the marks folder I have created one of the new controller as a marks controller, right? So now first of all I want to actually support it. That means in our web route, into the web route, that is our previous one. So now I copy it, and after that I want to do that is another our namespace as a marks. So into the backend I have created one of the folder as a marks folder, and into the marks folder I have created the controller as a marks controller, right? So now we are able to access this controller. So that is our controller, right? So that is our controller. So now I want to create another model. So that is the actually interconnected with the student. Okay, I want to create another model, and also we have to create one of the migrations table. So if you want to do that work, you have to write down as a PHP artisan make model, right? Into the make model I name it as a student marks. Okay, student marks, this type of one of the model I want to create, and also I want to create one of the migrations table. I name it as a M. Now click as a enter. Now it will be created one of the model as a that is our model successfully created, and that is our migrations table, right? So right now if you go, that is our controller. So into the controller area, first of all I want to support some of the file. So that is our interconnected with the student. So right now from to the student role, okay, role controller, I better copy everything. I want to support all that model. So I copy it, and now here I want to support it. Okay, and then also I have created one of the new one. Better I copy it, and after that I want to support our new model I have created. Into the model I have created one of the new model as a student marks. So that is our student marks, right? So now I support it, I copy it, and then here I support that student marks. Perfect. So I have created one of the method. I have created one of the method as a this one, right, as a marks add. So right now I create this one first. That will be as a public, and then function, and then our method name. So that will be our method. Okay, friend. Perfect. So I will do the things. I put some of the actions later. First of all I want to create our table. Into the table there is a migration I have also created. Here you can see I have also created that migrations table. So that is in our database. Into the database, if you go to that migration, and here there is a last one as a student marks. Perfect. So here for the student marks I want to add some of the field, like here from this position also we have to add that mark for a specific this student. Okay, so first of all I want to take one of the field. I name it as a student ID. Okay, student underscore ID. So this student ID will be actually one of the foreign key of our user ID. So better I have put some of the note for you. I put on the comment. Okay, comment, I put that things on here. That will be as a student ID equal to our user ID. Okay, so I put one of the comments for you, and then I want to take another from to the user table. From to the user table, if you go, first of all I want to check it. Okay, so if you go to the structure, into the user table and structure here, that is our ID number. You can also take it by the ID number. And then I also want to take another field, because here that will be actually connected with multiple field to get this some of the data from our student year. We have to get some of the data from the class and the assigned subject. So that is our assigned subject. So I want to add this part. I take one of the field. I take one of the field as a ID underscore number. Okay, ID number, and then I take another field as a year ID, year underscore ID, and then the class ID, class underscore ID. Okay, and then I take another one as a assign underscore subject. Okay, subject underscore ID, and then also I want to take another one. I take another one for the marks, because from to this position we have to also insert the mark. Okay, I name another field as a mark. Okay, marks. Perfect. And also I want to better put every field as a nullable. That will be as a nullable, and that will be also as a nullable, and that will be nullable, that will be as a nullable. And student ID, that will be obviously one of the integer. Okay, I make it as integer, and then ID number I make it as a string. Okay, I make it as a string, and then the year ID, obviously integer, assigned subject, so that's all that ID, so I make it as an integer. And the mark, I make it as a double. Okay, so I make it as a double. Perfect. So friend, that will be all that our field. The one of the student ID, that is one of the foreign key of our user table as a student ID, and there is string, I name it as ID number, and the integer for the year ID, integer for the class ID, and the assigned subject ID, and then double. Okay, so when I run it, everything will be more clear to you why I'm actually taking all that field. So that is our table name. I have created all that field. Now click as a save all, and now I want to migrate it. So if you want to migrate, I think you already know about that portion, what exactly you have to do. I just simply add as a PHP artisan migrate, right? That is a PHP artisan migrate. So if you now click as the enter, it's now showing as a syntax error, unexpected nullable. Okay, unexpected nullable, where there is a you can see I didn't use that sign. That is actually the sign, and I think you will understand about it, that my mistake. So that is the make that every field as a nullable. Okay, so that is the missing. So that's all. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go there, and now I want to migrate it again as a PHP artisan migrate. Now click as a enter. Yeah, our migration file is successfully created. Now if you go to our database, click as a refresh. So now it should be, I take another one as the student marks, right? So now I open it. So that is actually our new database table as the student marks, and here you can say I put one of the comment as the student ID will be as a user ID, and there is a ID number, year ID, class ID, assigned subject ID, and then the marks. Perfect. So now we have to work in our this method. Okay, so here we don't need this right now. I close it, and also here I updated that part. Right now we don't need this. So we have to work in our this marks add. Okay, so here as I told you friend, that will be just like our role management. Into the role management here, before I take the two field, right now I want to take another multiple field. I want to take that year, I want to take that class, I want to take that exam, and all that subject. Okay, so that will be actually 4 field, and after that I want to search this data. That will be just like that same, but here we have to add multiple field for this. So better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will create our this method. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.